Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where we review movies and TV shows, including all your favorite superheroes from Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby! Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my spoiler review for the new Disney Plus series Ahsoka. This is episode 5 spoiler review, and I will be spoiled. So again, if you have not seen this show, go check this out and then come back and watch this review. And I just want to thank for everybody else who has been watching this show, come and checking out my spoiler review and give me all your positive feedbacks. Tell me guys how you feel. I appreciate that. This is so cool, and I'm glad you guys are on this journey with me watching this awesome Star Wars series. So, as I continue on to review episode 5, this is a spoiler review. So, again, if you have not seen this, pause, watch it, and then come back and check this out. So, y'all been warned. Let's get into it. Episode 5 continues on where episode 4 left off, where we see Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader and Ahsoka standing on like a hollow bridge between life and death, like a bridge between death and dying, because we find out that she's underwater drowning. So this is kind of like don't run to the light or run to the light type scenario. And what I thought about that was very interesting, and I thought it was an amazing, cool thing, because Anakin is back to his old self. This is like the ghost Anakin of the Force, and we see him being himself, like if you remember from the prequels before he was Lord Vader, where he's very witty, very clever and charming. He says, you look old, because she said, you look the same. And they have this very battered talk. He tells her that he is going to finish her training, while Ahsoka kind of refuses to learn, because she still holds the grudge of him becoming Darth Vader. And even now, Anakin thinks that's a ridiculous thing to do, to not be a Jedi, to stop caring, to give up on the Force like that. And we see this amazing like first round of a lightsaber battle, and Ahsoka does like this spin kick in air and kicks him in the face, and she goes something along the line like, man, I think there's nothing to teach. And he just giggles and says, I haven't teach you everything. And he takes his lightsaber, which I want to point out too, because the choice is, before all this, he says, do you want to live or die? And at first it's blue, or like a clear white, bluish. And he takes that lightsaber and he hits the ground and they fall, where they go into a flashback where we see the Clone Wars in a live action way in one scene, which I thought it was cool. This is like a love letter to the Star Wars animation series Clone Wars, basically, which I think it's beautiful and amazing. And we see them relive the war where Ahsoka is a little girl or maybe a teenager, and I forgot the actor's name. But this is the little girl who's probably a teenager or a young adult, played young Gamora, and I want to say I forgot the other movie, but she played young Gamora in Avengers Endgame. Oh, and she also was in the Barbie movie. She played the daughter, I remember. But she played Ahsoka, a young Ahsoka, and which was really interesting because they were just showing that at a young age that this is why in some ways she's traumatized, because she remembers a lot of the deaths from like the stormtroopers. And even though they're all the same clone, but she still cared. And Anakin is trying to teach her that, sometimes you got to be a warrior, and these are the tough decisions as a captain. And as she kind of just slows down, Anakin's running. And I just want to point out that I thought it was really cool that they have Anakin Skywalker wear the Clone War outfit where it's like an armor. Because I remember George Lucas has always said he wanted to make sure in a visual way that we know that Jedi's are more than just peacekeepers, they're warriors. So I thought it was really cool. And in this part, now we're seeing a glimpse of Anakin as Darth Vader or Lord Vader. And then he comes back and says, wrong answer, like, because she's not choosing live or die. And remember, she's underwater drowning in the ocean over there. And then the second round, he goes, his lightsaber turns red. It's kind of like, I like about that part was, it reminds me of playing a video game, basically. It's like, you can play easy mode, or you can change it to difficult, change the difficult to like a hard mode. And it's kind of like that, like, you're playing the same level, but you change the difficulty level of it. And now it's more challenging. It's a little bit extra tough. You're getting less things like items, or you're dying easily in the video game. And this is kind of with it, because he did not hold back on her. And I really love the part where for one glimpse he turned into Darth Vader. But at the end, she finally makes the choice and chooses to live. And I love it that in this again that he didn't held back. Like, he was really he was going to throw down, because he has trained her to be as good as him. And he wanted to make sure, like, this is him getting a second chance to have redemption. Because you got to think, this is, Vader's gone. Anakin died, and he had his last breath. Like, in the last Star Wars movie, his son Luke Skywalker defeated Darth Vader and Padme, as we thought. But I just remember him taking off his dad's helmet, Darth Vader. And I just remember that him taking that off caused him to die. Because he needs to wear that suit to keep living. Like, obviously his body's extremely damaged, and that suit what kept him alive. And I just like that, because just like that, Ahsoka threw her saber just like Luke Skywalker did, Anakin's son. And Anakin passed that lesson to her. And this is what a quote that Luke Skywalker said in the Star Wars movies. I want to say Empire Strikes Back. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Please correct. I am the Jedi like my father like before me, and Ahsoka, I am a Jedi like my master before me. Throws the saber away while all that's going on. She's being looked for from Hera. And before I continue on in that, that's what was amazing about all this, is that there was a Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka, the three trios of this trilogy of them passing the knowledge. Like, Anakin Skywalker was the chosen one, or is the chosen one. Luke Skywalker was someone who was going to redeem the last name Skywalker in the Jedi legacy. Ahsoka was going to continue to be the next great Jedi. And that's just them. Like, that's why you see in The Mandalorian, you see Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka, because they are the only two who can be as close, besides Obi-Wan Kenobi, to be as good as Anakin as a Jedi as far as skills and ability. So that's what's just so cool about this. This was like a closure for Ahsoka to finally truly understand, to finally go forward with the Jedi way. And I just think that was amazing about that. And as this episode continue on, we see Hera and the other rebels looking for her, and her son Jason, who has a Jedi ability. I forgot his dad's name, but his dad's a Jedi, and he can hear the lightsaber battles and the Clone Wars battles because he has the abilities to feel the Force, and this is like a force of going on. It's not really Ahsoka physically doing that. She's deep in conscience within the Force. But luckily they found her because Jason could hear it and he knew where. He didn't know exactly where, but he knew it was in the water somewhere. They found her luckily. And you know what I like about this is later on, after all that, they save her and she wakes up. She's like, she's kind of like been baptized because she's in an all white suit and she's still wearing it while, she goes off to find, Thawne, Sabrin, and Ezra. And this is my favorite part of the episode. These the Purgils, these are whales. And it was the most craziest idea, but the councils were getting upset that this mission was unauthorized, but Hera knew this was the right choice. And then Hera realized like she wasn't going to be able to go on this adventure. But they did everything they could to stall, the commanders that were going to arrest them for breaking a law. And they said, look, Ahsoka's going in this Purgil's mouth with Yuang on the ship, and they're gonna go, and they had to trust this whale because. But what was cool is she used the Force to communicate with that Purgil, and was so awesome because that's one of the Jedi's ways is communicating. And think about it, Grogu knows how to do that. Like, does this, to me, this still indicates that we could see Grogu ride one of these Purgils or that legendary creature at the Mandalorian's home planet. But this is a thing, and now we see Ahsoka find closure. She finds peace. She understands that what side she needs to be on. She also understands that Anakin's past doesn't define her future, and I think that was the amazing message about this. So even though they went off into hyperspace in a Purgil's mouth, where does she go, and will we see Thawne finally? So let's get into some topics that we need to talk about. Let's talk about Sabrin. So we know what Sabrin has to have a choice now. What are Sabrin's choice? And I think in the next episodes, I think in her own way, she's going to have this choice. And maybe it's live or die, just like Ahsoka. Maybe Ahsoka is going to pass this lesson to her because she is going to risk it all for Ezra. And I get it that's why she originally wanted to, but she's not looking at the bigger picture. And this could cause war. Like, finding Ezra could cause war because if you find Ezra, there's Thawne. And that's what nobody wants. And I want to say that's the choice she has to make, is maybe not live and die, but maybe her selfish reasons or the right reason, the sacrifice reason to help the whole galaxy from being in war again. And I think that's what her choices are going to be in a way from the next episode. But now with Ahsoka, with this closure and calmness, and now she has peace in mind with the past, I think this is I think now things are going to make sense. But who knows? Or maybe Sabrin falls to the dark side. You never know. Like, this is going to be an interesting thing that may go forward with it. The next thing is Thawne and Ezra. So, as I was saying earlier, we know that Thawne and Ezra are the main things, but I wonder if Saberin again is gonna make that right choice. Or it could just be your typical thing where they found Ezra, but Thawne wins, and then they save the battle for like maybe episode 6 or 7, 8, or whatever. Who knows? But I mean, I think I think realistically, there's gonna be an ending. Like I don't think they're gonna keep Thawne. I think they should. I think they should keep him alive throughout more of the Star Wars series because I think there's more stories. I think his story should be definitely told in a way. And I think it'd just be neat. I don't think they should kill him off, but I could see that happening in the next episode too. So, and Ezra, maybe Ezra they'll kill off Ezra as well. Maybe they're not both not gonna live, but again, I think Ezra too is a character that they should keep alive and keep telling his story and expanding it out to a solo series or something. Like I think the Rebels and the Clone Wars stories in a live action way story should be told within the Star Wars universe of this timeline. But again, that's just me, and again, I think this is just a reboot to the whole Star Wars series. I think that they're gonna retell some of these classic stories because if they're going to the second galaxy, one of the galaxies is gonna be destroyed, and that's gonna be Thawne. Thawne's gonna be the one to destroy it if he lives through it. So that's just my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. But overall, this episode was really great. I really enjoyed. This is my favorite episode, and yes, it's very hyped and talked about all over the internet. But I really enjoy it because Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker, is my favorite character in the Star Wars universe, continuity, all that, just all of it. He's my favorite. So I've definitely given this episode 1 out of 10. I'm definitely giving it a 10. This is really fun. I cannot wait for the next episode. There is so much ways they can go with this, but I personally think I hope they go the route where Thawne and Ezra do not die. I think there's so much more to go with this. So that's my review. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Thank you and peace out.